Good afternoon, everyone. This is Scott Duncan here from George Brown College. Welcome to our webinar, 20 Reasons to Consider George Brown College's PLC Technician Programs. Can I just get one of the moderators to confirm that audio is okay?
Hi, Scott. Yes, I can hear you very well.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Get started. Thank you everyone for joining us. I see we have about 50 people in the webinar, which is great. Thank you for stopping in and with your interest in our program. So we're going to try today to cover what we think are the most important features and benefits of the PLC program, things that you might want to know about in terms of your consideration of our online technical training programs. And as we go through those things, we're going to try and address the most common questions that we get from prospective students as they're talking to us and investigating our program. So with having said that, let's get started. So again, my name is Scott Duncan. I'm the Manager of Business Development in the Distance Education Department here at George Brown College. Today I'm joined by a couple of colleagues. Geet Amin, who is our Senior Support Consultant, who you might end up talking about a technical question at some point as a student. Geet.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As Scott mentioned, I'll help out students with any technical or tutorial questions they have throughout the program.
Great. We've also got two other colleagues in the webinar. Iris is monitoring the chat, so as you participate in that, you'll be talking to Iris, and our colleague Anna is monitoring and collaborate to make sure everything's happening on the back end properly. So with that, let's move into our agenda today. We're going to cover in the next 30 minutes these topics. Here's our plan: about a 20-minute presentation of those 20 reasons to our programs, and then we're going to do an open-ended Q&A through the chat and try and answer as many questions as possible. Post-webinar, we will follow up with an email that will include show notes and a link to the slides. Sorry, to the video of the slides and any other details that we come up or think might be appropriate given the questions. So the first reason that we'd like to present to you as probably the most important differentiating factor of our programs relative to what you're finding out there in the world of higher ed options is our distance education-based, computer-based model. We're quite unique in this way, in that in our program you drive, you determine your schedule, you can study anywhere at any time, you determine the pace, there are no deadlines for completion of exams, it's an open-ended model, it's made to work for you. Average completion is about 32 weeks. Some people go longer, some people do it faster who might have had experience and are looking to complete a certificate. Second point wanted to hit, this is a really important question people want to know about. Who is George Brown and what can I expect from them? We are a accredited institution under the Ontario Ministry of Colleges and Universities. We have about 30,000 full-time students and almost 70,000 continuing education students. We're the largest provider of distance ed in Canada. We articulate with a number of universities with our programs, and we have a range of US partners who also offer our programs who you might encounter in your web searches. Big important question. What do I have to have in terms of prerequisites to get into the program? We require a high school diploma or equivalent. That means if you didn't finish your high school diploma, but you've had a number of years of work experience, that qualifies as that mature student status. Previous PLC experience is great, is useful in the course, and some people move through it rapidly if they do have that, but it's not necessary. It's certainly not required. Our typical student is someone 30 to 40 years old who's working, who is in a manufacturing industrial context and is looking for training in these areas. Another reason people are often very interested in our program is the very flexible registration options that we present and make it easy to get registered with us. Sometimes going back to school can be intimidating and complicated, filling out forms, talking to people. We make it really straightforward and flexible. We have open enrollment. You can start anytime. We have a flexible pay-as-you registration option, which allows you to register and get started and then move your way through modules. We also work closely with companies if you happen to have a company that is generously providing tuition reimbursement, and we can work with them directly or through you to make that all work. Okay, so let's talk about the details of registration. If you're thinking about it now and you're looking at, well, how do I do that if I've decided? It's a very simple process. It's changed a little bit in the last month because we can no longer offer mail-in registration or fax because we're not in the office. We're all working remotely, like many of you are at home now. But we've migrated to that quite successfully, and now we are operating and providing service and support to all of our students fully and completely. And in fact, we've extended that support, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So let's talk cost, which is a really important aspect of a decision to proceed with a program like ours. You may never have done a program, you've never done anything online, and you're not sure if it's right for you, so you're concerned about cost and whether that investment, whether it's a risky investment or not. Well, we believe that we provided a really flexible and low-cost scenario that you can get into the program at a really reasonable rate. In the independent learning package, and the first module is about $440. And then you can work your way through the rest of the 19 modules, one module at a time. We do have an optional textbook at $170, which you can buy if you wish. It's not required. So what does that mean, comparing our program to other options that you might be considering? Well, it stacks up pretty well in terms of what else is out there. Typical diploma program, which is the second column, is about $7,000 for a 2 or 3 year program. A university degree might cost you $50,000 over 3 or 4 years. Our program is a total of $1,700, and as you can get through it fairly quickly within an average of about 6 months. So what's the package look like? What if you're getting closer to a decision now and you want to know, well, what is it? How does it come to me? What does it look like? How complicated is that process? It's very, very simple. We provide the curriculum and the simulation software through a download. Once you register, you will get an email immediately with a download link that you then download that material. And that also gives you access to our Student Support Center, which provides online resources. And as we mentioned, there's a supplemental textbook. Once you're going in the program, how do you complete the modules? How do you prove your mastery of that content, as you must do as a student to acquire your certificate? Well, we have online exams. They're built into our Student Support Center. You can take them anytime, 24 hours a day. You go online, you take an online exam, and complete that within 90 minutes. You must get a 60% to pass. You must pass each exam of the 19 modules to graduate. To help you do that, there are some practice exams, and there's information in the Student Support Center to help you get excuse me, up to speed on that with an FAQ and a very easy to follow demo to get you going. So it's really easy to do those exams online. So let's move forward to thinking about where can this take you? So a lot of people are thinking, yes, I need a certificate, I need to get trained, I need new skills and understanding, but they're also thinking about going further. Well, we have an established pathway for that, where you can pursue that pathway through one of our partner universities, where we articulate with them, Newman University in Pennsylvania, by taking our PLC program plus an ET diploma, which we could tell you more about if you wanted to find out about that. Once you've done all of those things, you can articulate into the fourth year of a BSc degree. Now we're going to move into some of the technical details, and I'm going to get Geet to take over at this point. Over to you, Geet.
Thank you, Scott. There was a lot of good information there. Hello again, everyone. For anyone who joined in late to the webinar, my name is Geet. I work as a senior technical consultant here, and I provide technical and tutorial assistance to the students taking PLC and PLC2 program. So I will take you all through the technical side of the programs, starting with the hardware requirement. Now, as we can see from the image that we're looking at on the screen, a very simple computer with a sound card, 512 MB RAM, as less as 250 MB of available free hard drive space is more than enough to run these programs. Now, we recommend 1 GB RAM, but even that is very low in terms of, if you look at any new computers these days, they come with 4 GB RAM. Mostly so, 1 GB is not even a very high requirement I would consider there. You will need internet access and email account for online exams. Online exams are done, and you can do online exams anytime. There are no time limit, time restrictions on when to do the exam. Yes, the exams are 90 minutes. They are timed, but you can do it any time of the day or night. One of the major requirement for our programs to run is that you have to use a computer running Windows operating system. Unfortunately, our programs would not work on a Mac OS, Linux, or any other operating system. It has to be a Windows-based computer to use the programs. Now, moving on to the next slide, we will look at. Sorry, Scott, if you don't mind to please, thank you. Well, now another reason our programs are very popular is because of the high quality student support that we provide to the students when they're taking the course. Now, for any technical subject like PLC, it is very important to have a support. Now, there would be situations where students may not understand a lab project. There would be situations where students may not understand how this ladder logic program is coded, and you know, time and time there will be questions that they would want to ask, and we thrive. We always try our best to provide support. There are different ways students can get help. You know, you can reach out to us by phone. There is a toll-free phone number available, and support staff are there to answer the phone calls 13 hours a day, Monday to Friday. And we are available on weekends as well, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So for people who are working full time, we want to make sure that we are available in the evening and on weekends. This way we can help them when they have questions while they're taking the program. Also, there is a student forum available. We've been running the forum for more than 15 years now, where there are so many questions already posted and answered by the tutorial advisors. So anytime you guys are going through a topic and you don't understand anything, if you go to the forum, there is a good chance that you will find the question already posted with the answer, with a very detailed answer. And if you still don't understand anything, you can always give us a call, send us an email, and we have a great team of support staff who are always ready to help out students with their technical questions. Here we look at the modules that are covered on the PLC2 programs. Now, both PLC and PLC2 programs, they each have 19 modules. The main difference between the PLC and PLC2 is the programming that they are based on. So PLC is based on Allen Bradley 500 series, while PLC2 is Allen Bradley 5000, which is the newer version of the PLC from Rockwell. Now there are a few modules which are overlapping between the two courses. So if someone graduated from PLC comes into PLC2, they'll get 7 module credited, exempted. This way they don't have to pay for those 7 modules. So that is a good thing. A lot of our students take both the programs. This way they cover both the technologies. A lot of companies are still using the older version from Allen Bradley PLC. Most of them are transiting into the newer version, so having both courses covered helps a lot. If we look at the module coverage, each module cover in-depth theory and practical examples. For example, if we look at the module 8, it is about timers. You'll learn about different types of timers, like on delay timer, off delay timer, cascading timers, and so all the topics are supported by the lab projects, which will give you a clear understanding on how it can be applied in the real world application. And the lab projects are use the simulation software. Here we're looking at a short clip. It's a video. The simulation program that we offer with PLC and PLC2, it comes with 10 different 3D worlds. The one that we are looking at on the video right now is the batch mixer. Now we are looking at the bottle line plant. So all these 3D worlds are real world manufacturing environments. You will be learning how to control this manufacturing environments using the ladder logic program. So both our programs heavily focus on ladder logic programming. So once you graduate from PLC or PLC2, you will know, if you go out and work in a, let's say in a Tesla manufacturing plant, you will know how to control the conveyor belts over there, how to control the lot of stuff. So these programs, they don't only cover the theory, but they also teach you how to control those real world manufacturing environments. We cover about 10 different 3D worlds, as we can see on the screen. These are the 10 different worlds that you'll be learning throughout the course and how to control them using the ladder logic program. On the next slide, we can see the ladder program in the background. And there is a conveyor car wash on the front. There's a control panel on the 3D world. As we can see, you can press the start, stop, and when you press the start, it interacts with the ladder program in the background. So any changes you make on the ladder program will reflect on the 3D world. So it's very interactive. You'll learn how to modify the programs. There are so many practical examples covered throughout the course. And those practical examples will give you a task saying, modify this ladder program so that your 3D world does this, and you'll be given different tasks like this, and there will be a solution there as well, a detailed ladder logic solution provided. So if you don't understand, you can always take a look at the solution and always contact support center if you have any questions for that. Moving on to the next slide, I will pass it back to Scott, and he will take it from here. Over to you, Scott.
Thank you very much, Geet. So that's a good overview of some of the technical details of the program. We've talked about some of the details about what to consider when you're coming in and what you might find value in. So we want to talk now a little bit about what you get when you're done. What are the final kind of considerations in terms of how this would all affect your career prospects. So here's a pretty detailed list of the things that you come out of the program with. You get a certificate of completion, you get 57 CEUs, continuing education units, you'll have PLC simulator experience, you'll have PLC programming experience, and maybe most importantly, you have new confidence and new knowledge, new ways to apply this in an industrial setting. Moving forward, once you've completed a certificate, what does it actually mean in terms of your daily work and your opportunity in the market? Where will it lead you? Will it get me a job? Well, our programs can put you on the path towards these opportunities. Obviously, there's a wide range of these kind of jobs from, $40,000 to $80,000, $90,000, depending on what you end up doing. And these kind of jobs require lots of different kinds of experience. We're not saying the certificate will get you that high-end job, but it will definitely get you in the right positioning for it, and the training will put you on that path. Can we verify that? Can we prove that kind of a statement? I think we can if you go to our website and look at our feedback pages, where we've got lots and lots of details, lots of stories of some of our graduate students and what the impact of the program has been for them. I encourage you to look at these. You can read these in more detail when we send you out the slides. But we know for a fact that students they have a great experience, they become better troubleshooters, they move into new positions, they get pay raises, and they have more confidence in doing their job. I will point you at this last little piece of information. Geet gave you a bit of an introduction to what the differences are between the two PLC programs. Here is a link to a little quiz that you can go in and find out, get a little bit of help in terms of deciding which program might be appropriate for you. Or even better, give us a phone call. We're here to answer questions and to support you. If you call our general 800 number, you will get one of our advisors, and they will be able to answer your questions and explain more of this detail to you. We really encourage you to talk to us, and we'll help you determine whether this is appropriate for you or not. This brings us into our Q&A section. We're just a little bit long, sorry about that, but we still have 8 minutes within our 30-minute window. We will keep the Q&A open, just so you know. We're not going to cut you off if we have a bunch of questions going. We'll be happy to keep open to that. So we're going to move to the Q&A section. Iris, you have been feeding some questions into our chat and organizing those for you. Geet, you want to start off and pick a couple and answer them?
Thank you, Scott. So one of the very common questions that we usually get, and we got one today, is about how deeply we cover the ladder logic programming in the course. Is so our programs are heavily focused on ladder logic. It's not just about reading the theory, but every topic that we cover in the course, it supports they are supported by the lab projects. We have more than 100 pre-made lab projects. So let's say if you're learning up counter, you will see a lab project on up counter, how that up counter can be used in one of the simulation environment, and how to control it using the ladder logic program. So we really cover in-depth ladder logic programming and troubleshooting examples in the course.
Very good. How about you take this one, Geet? I'm interested in taking PLC and automation. What order would you do them in?
Sure. So automation program is more broader, I would say. So automation program covers modules from robotics, electromechanical, and PLC too. Now, if someone is coming into this field brand new, who has no background in any kind of those topics, they can take the automation. They will learn about electromechanical, PLCs, and robotics into automation. And from there, if they find themselves interested more towards robotics, they can take the robotics technician program that we offer. If they find themselves interested more into PLCs, they can take the PLC2 program that we offer. And any modules that you have covered in previous program, you will be exempted when you take the next one. So you will not have to pay for those modules. You'll get credited for those modules.
Okay, I'll take one of the questions. What about veterans and military? Any benefits under the VA? So obviously you're in the US. So currently our programs are not eligible for VA funding at a high sort of at a general level. The VA does not really, as of yet, still really approve of distance education programs, so we aren't funded. We do have a number of partners in the U.S. who are working with us to try and address that, but at this point, it's not eligible. But what we can say is that we have found individual VA counselors much more interested and sympathetic with their clients. And if you have an education counselor at the VA and you take them and show them our program, they'll often approve it individually. So there is a way to proceed and pursue that, and we're working from the top down as well to try and change that. Keith, do you want to grab one, or?
Yes, I have a very common question that I usually get when I talk to students and someone interested in one of these programs over the years is about simulation software. How similar is our simulation software to the Rockwell's pro emulator? Now our simulation software is based on Rockwell. It is very close to what you will be using if any company is using Allen Bradley PLC and they are using Rockwell simulator. If you graduate from our program and you start working there, you won't find a huge difference. That's what we tried best. When our students graduate, they won't have a huge transition coming out of these PLC logics and going into using Rockwell. And one more note if I can add on there is you get lifetime license to the simulation software. So once you install it on your computer, it is there for you to use it forever. The license to the software do not expire ever.
Keith, we're getting a couple of questions about the software. Do you want to just explain a little bit more about the PLC logics and 500 and 5000 and the difference? And here's another point, you may not seeing it yet. Is there an HMI creation during the program?
Right. So yes, absolutely. Now the PLC 500, the main difference between 500 and 5000 is the style of programming. So if you look at PLC 500, Allen Bradley 500 is more input-output based, while 5000 is tag-based programming. The entire curriculum is you'll be learning tag-based ladder logic programming throughout the course. To answer the question about HMI, we do cover HMI in our program, but our simulation we don't go in depth. We do have a module that covers the HMI. Our program is more generalized, focusing more on the ladder logic programming and all the concepts of PLC that you will need to be as a PLC technician if you go work in any environment.
We have an interesting question from Chris about our partners in the U.S. So we have 8 college partners in the U.S. who we work with, and they provide our programs through their colleges. So it's exactly the same program, and we work with them to get them organized, and we provide all of the backup and support and tutorial and technical advising to them. So you would be talking to us as well if you were signed up with University of Houston downtown. Which college you should apply to is a more complicated question. We might want to talk with you to address that one. We certainly, we're the authors of this, and we know it very well. We can advise you on that. Sometimes there's a very good reason to sign up with a local partner like UHD. If you happen to live in Houston or even in Texas and you want a certificate that has a local college's name on it, that might have more cachet with a local business. So that's often the best reason to consider one of our partners to get that traction locally in your particular area.
I see a question from Jason here. He's asking if he will be able to use this software on a tablet. As long as it is a Windows-based tablet, it would be fine. A tablet running full Windows operating system, yes, you will be able to install this program and use it. The only tablets that it would not work if it is running a Android or Apple OS on it. It would not work.
Sorry, guys, that was my timer going off, telling me that we're over time. Let me see. Was there one more question in there? There was one question. I've lost it here in the queue. Let me just go back a bit. Miles, you're asking about whether this would be valuable to you. You're already an accredited electrical engineer, and would PLCs be useful to you? It's a hard one for us to answer, because obviously you're here and you're asking the question because you don't have a lot of PLC, or you need more PLC training, and maybe you've got a job or a company, consulting or whatever, an opportunity where you need more hands-on applied skills in very direct applied manufacturing context. One of the things you get out of our program that you probably don't have is PLC programming skills. You will work with our simulators. You've seen the 3D worlds. You'll have an opportunity to work with those and integrate that back into the theory and the content that we cover. You know, we have a lot of engineers, frankly, who go through our programs who are looking for kind of a focused quick training in one of these areas. So they'll register and they'll go through them quickly. I'm guessing you would go through this pretty quickly, but you will gain knowledge and skills, because we come at it from a very different point of view than you would have in your electrical engineering training and probably in your work experience to date. Anything else, Geet?
I see a question from Christopher. Scott, you may want to take this one. He's asking, is GBC associated with University of Houston Downtown?
Yes, we are. University of Houston Downtown is one of our partner colleges, so we work very closely with them to provide this training. So we are the main workhorse of the relationship, where if you register, you sign up, and you then work with us to address any questions and answers, be technical, administration. We do all of the support for the program, and then when you graduate, you get a certificate from our partner, that being University of Houston Downtown. So again, to that earlier point, if you're looking for a certificate that's got a local cachet, a local brand on it, then that might be a good reason for you to think about that. And we have 8 of those partners around the US, and maybe more in the near future, as we're having conversations with some.
Right. I have another question. I can see that XC mentioned about if this program will teach how to write ladder logic programming. The answer is yes. It's not just about modifying the pre-made lab projects, pre-made ladder programs, but you will learn how to write the ladder programs from scratch. And the simulation software that we provide, it gives you full control over writing your own programs and connecting with the 3D worlds, that 10 different 3D worlds that comes with the software.
Let me take the question. Is there any chance for workplace programs after this course to practice? No, unfortunately, we don't offer that. I understand the desire for it. It's very obvious, but because we work with students all over North America primarily, it would be pretty hard for us to offer a workplace program for students in California or in Florida or in British Columbia. So no, the answer is we don't. But we do try and provide lots of opportunity to connect with our other graduate students and potentially other employers through our Facebook group, which is private to our students, and where we do help students try and build that network that they need to find jobs and opportunities for themselves. Okay, we're almost 1:34. I think at this point we're going to wrap up, except maybe what I'll do is I'll address Chris's last question, which is how do they proceed? how might you proceed? And let me just flip to that chat very quickly, so I make sure I've got. How can we contact someone with your college to discuss this further? So the website is there, plctechnician.com. Let me just go. Did we add a phone number? There's the phone number. Sorry, we didn't get to that slide. There's our 800 number that you can call us at. That works in Canada and the United States. Feel free to give us a call, ask for one of our advisors, and we're very happy to speak with you. Geet, why don't you take one more question, which is Aldrin's, about what would be ideal for maintenance, a journeyman electrician.
Sure. Now we do have a lot of electricians taking PLC programs. Now, having an electrician background definitely helps, especially knowing about the relay logics and everything. So when you come into the PLCs, that background would help you grasp topics faster than someone else coming in with no background. As an electrician, nowadays, majority of the manufacturing companies are moving into automation. Everyone is trying to make their world automated, and having PLC and robotics education along with your electrician would always help. It would give you that confidence to move into a new role, which is what most of the electricians and engineers that come to us for the PLC courses are looking for. They are either looking for a promotion, or they're looking to get into PLC programming from what they're already doing as in their maintenance job. So our programs helps a lot to the electricians and maintenance, millwright electricians.
Thank you, Geet. I think I'm going to wrap it up at this point. We will go through the chat again after the webinar, and we'll make sure we had answered all of the questions. If perchance we missed your question, we are here and very accessible by either email or by the 800 number there listed on the slide. Please feel free to contact us directly and talk with one of our guys. You can talk to Geet or me or one of our advisors, and we'll fill in any more of the blanks that you might need answered. So with that, we're going to wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for being a great audience and asking lots of great questions. And we look forward to talking to you more in the future. And we hope that you'll find value in our webinar and find out more about our programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe during this time.